It is a grave mistake to predict who from the Rex Deus bloodline will step forward out of the shadows of anonymity and into the adulating light of fame to seize the Davidic throne. We must, however, be wary of the unicorn bloodline belonging to the House of Stuart, for the Stuarts' alleged claims of unified royal bloodlines offer incredible nostalgic and romantic appeal to the chivalry of the past. The unicorn dynastic legacy may well be offered as an olive branch of hope to a world inundated with cynicism and void of respect and hope in the leadership of their leaders. According to Knight and Lomas, the contemporary Rex Deus families include the Counts of Champagne, the Lords of Guise, the Lords of Payen, the Counts of Fontaine, the Counts of Anjou, de Bouillon, Saint Clair de Guise, Saint Clair de Neg, Brienne, Joinville, Chaumont, the Saint Clairs, and the Habsburgs, 13 families. Originating Rex Deus bloodlines were introduced to other families through marriage: Blanchefort, Saint Clair, Plantard, and Habsburg-Lorraine. For example, Marie de Saint Clair, a descendant of Henry Saint Clair of Rosslyn Chapel, married Jean de Guise, the first independent Grand Master of the Priory of Sion. We should look to the Habsburg-Lorraine house with the same degree of skepticism, for they also possess intriguing history that is burgeoning with Rex Deus bloodlines. The Habsburgs keep a three-dimensional monument dedicated to their Rex Deus heritage in the form of 40 statues designed to bring to life images of the Merovingian dynasty. All this appears to have been done after the Atlantean spirit. In Atlantis, the people also erected three-dimensional monuments in honor of the original queens and kings of the Atlantean Empire. The Habsburg monument includes Clovis, Theodoric, Arthur, and King of Jerusalem, Godfrey de Bouillon. It is a three-dimensional sangreal legacy throughout the ages, for the Habsburgs regard themselves as priest-kings, just as their ancestral Merovingians kings believed. The Habsburg dynasty married into the Rex Deus dynasty through the 18th century union of the houses of Lorraine and Habsburg via Marie Antoinette. The House of Habsburg-Lorraine is regarded as one of the contemporary heirs to the Merovingian dynasty and the Rex Deus bloodline. Be aware of the Plantard family as well. Pierre Plantard was the Grand Master of the Priory of Sion. He claimed to be a direct descendant of Dagobert II of the Merovingian dynasty, and that the Priory of Sion apparently possessed the genealogical records to verify this. Many believe the only two direct lineages descending from the Merovingian bloodline today are those of the Sinclair and Plantard families. Whoever Lord Maitreya might be, today he lives in moderate anonymity, but we should look for clear Rex Deus ties when he steps out of the shadows and into the light. As we discussed previously, the Bible predicts a 10-horned or 10-toed empire will resurrect out of the ashes of the old Roman Empire in the last days, which would bring about the coming of the Antichrist, Lord Maitreya. This is exactly what the spurious globalist forces are endeavoring to bring about. The World Constitution and Parliament Association, a Rockefeller-supported foundation, includes its vision a world divided into 10 constituencies. The Club of Rome also has arrogantly divided the world into 10 economic and political regions. This is no coincidence. The God of Gods preordained it. Secret societies are endeavoring to recreate the Age of Enlightenment, the reincarnated antediluvian age of Atlantis, by re-establishing antediluvian rule that reigns supreme over Atlantis. They sincerely believe the essential arts and knowledge of our present civilization trace their beginnings back to the great antediluvian empire of Atlantis through Egypt, along with the secrets they possess. This is the Genesis 6 conspiracy, destined to place the new Nimrod, the Antichrist, at the head of world government for 1,000 years, the reincarnated Fourth Reich. The renewal of Atlantis is yet another allegory of King Arthur and the Grail legends. Excalibur, the famous sword of Arthur, symbolizes a key to Atlantis that was hidden in England. The key is the location of certain wisdom and knowledge, along with additional keys to unseal the antediluvian knowledge that is to remain sealed and hidden until the people that possess the right level of knowledge and wisdom are able to unlock it. The withdrawal of Excalibur represented the rebirth of the new Atlantean race, just as Camelot and Arthur's reign did. America was conceived to achieve, as a global model, the ideal commonwealth in the political world. As Mars notes, America is the stepping stone, the great plan to bring about the new Atlantis, just as the Templars, Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Francis Bacon had envisioned. I cannot say the spurious factions will raise up Nephilim as kings for the future spurious millennium, but I cannot rule it out either, based on all that I have discussed in this book. What we can expect is that these rulers will cling to their ancient bloodlines that indeed do link them back to Nephilim. What I can state with cryptic certainty is the spurious religion will once more reign supreme as the Queen of Kingdoms. The religion of Cain will once more rise to dominate the world. The religion of light will once more cast its seditious, sinister shadow upon the entire earth. It will be the new age of Nimrod and Babel, reincarnated in all its allegorical glory. Satan's end-time shadow will be the final act in the Genesis 6 conspiracy. The Antichrist will either be possessed by Satan or by the fallen angel Abaddon. Revelation 17:8-9. The beast, which you saw, once was, now is not, and will come up out of the abyss and go to his destruction. The inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because he once was, now is not, and yet will come. Abaddon, or Apollyon, is the leader of the angels of the abyss. This will undoubtedly be the destroyer Azazel, who introduced war and violence to the descendants of Cain, and the fallen one who will possess the Antichrist. Abaddon, Apollyon are the Greek appellations for the destroyer. In addition, the Antichrist will be glorified as the allegorical symbol of Orion, who the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx point to and honor. Orion is the home of Osiris, and to his left is Sirius, the star of Isis. The beast will be symbolic of Osiris, the sun god, and of course, of Lucifer, of whom all these are symbolic, so that the world will worship Lucifer and not God. This act of heresy will condemn humankind to oblivion, except for the saints who will hold true to God, saving part of humankind from this black prospect. Lord Maitreya will permit each person the opportunity to decide what is right and what is wrong, and what will be a solemn game of global, situational ethics. The inhabitants of the world will be compelled to choose to worship and follow the Antichrist, Lucifer, and their New Age religion, or follow the alleged evil god of the Christians, Israelites, and Muslims. This duty-bound choice will be punctuated by the forthcoming galactic war of rebellion to free the inhabitants of the earth from the oppressing Adonai and his angels. The decision to follow the Antichrist and fight for freedom will be sealed by the mark of the beast, a sign of their new covenant and choice. Lord Maitreya is believed by some to be alive now, residing somewhere anonymously in the world, awaiting only his fateful day of announcement. These events are prophesied by Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, as well as all the spurious religions. Expect curious discoveries will start to take place, including discoveries of the secret knowledge of Nimrod and Hermes that will storm world opinion. Look for startling discoveries emanating out of Egypt that will likely come from the secret chambers at the feet of the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, as well as discoveries in England and Central America. The sparkling knowledge of Atlantis and Cain will magically make its reappearance through these diverse kinds of discoveries, for their whereabouts and contents are already known, awaiting only the predestined age to impress the world and the terminal generation preordained to be deceived. Hermes was believed to have hidden his inherited great antediluvian knowledge somewhere in Egypt. The Giza monuments are believed to be a memorial to the flood erected by a highly advanced antediluvian civilization. Somewhere in Giza, the famous Hall of Records was buried, which contains the entire antediluvian body of knowledge of this golden age of perfection. Egyptian papyrus makes many references to the hidden chambers called the Chambers of Archives, or Hall of Records, hinting it was buried close to the Sphinx. All these legends pertaining to spurious vaults of antediluvian knowledge are kept alive and well today, according to Hancock and Bovell, through the Rosicrucians, Theosophists, and Freemasons. Whether or not this knowledge is discovered at these locations, or at Roslyn, or on Oak Island, or a combination of all the above, the knowledge will contain all the antediluvian knowledge, as well as the knowledge of Solomon, the Cathars, the Templars, and Rex Deus, for the Sinclairs and Freemasonry are the guardians of all such things. Secret spurious knowledge, such as anti-gravity from Mu, a theoretical force in theosophy used by the ancients to lift heavy stone blocks into place to build their cities and monuments, will abound in the New Age. The world will be vibrating with expectancy as it celebrates these fantastic discoveries en route to global occupation. As a result, then, people sharing common consciousness through transcendental meditation create a figurative conduit that is not restricted by the laws of physics. The web matrix of the life force heals everything, creating world peace. The life force will vibrate at peak efficiency, creating the Maharishi effect, godhood. The 1,000-year reign of Lord Maitreya will beckon. Humanity will anticipate ascension into godhood. The new golden age will beckon with all its hopes, promises, and enlightened false prophets. Hogwash. The people of this terminal generation will be compelled to choose between God, certain persecution, and genocide or the false prophet, false messiah, false freedom, false peace, and the false millennium. These will be the perilous days of the tribulation. For the true faith, the time of Jacob's trouble, the last 7 years of this age. Armageddon will beckon, beginning with World War III, when descendants of the giants Gog, Magog, Meshech, and Tubal, the descendants of the Scythians now living in Russia, will march on Israel with a great alliance of armies at the midpoint of the last 7 years, shattering the age of peace. This will be the end times, the period just before the entrance of the real Messiah, Jesus, who comes to save the world from itself and then usher in the true millennium of peace. What has happened will happen again. Nothing is new under the sun. We are certain to turn full circle and go back to our antediluvian heritage, where we will stand face to face and eye to eye with the ongoing, generational Genesis 6 conspiracy. Only this time, the conspiracy will be thwarted forever.